Yes, it happened, and it is important to talk about it clearly and calmly so everyone understands exactly what this approval means. Congress has approved a bill that directly affects Social Security, extra monthly payments, and related financial support for seniors, retirees, and people living on fixed incomes across the United States. This update has caused a lot of confusion, excitement, and mixed information swirling around online and in communities. So, this video is focused on explaining what is real, what has been approved, and how it may affect your money this month and in the months ahead. The goal here is to walk through the facts step by step using simple language so you can understand what applies to you and how to stay informed and prepared. The approval of this bill comes at a time when many seniors are feeling financial pressure. Rising costs for groceries, housing, utilities, healthcare, and insurance have made it harder for fixed incomes to stretch as far as they once did. The reality is that everyday expenses have climbed steadily, while income sources have remained relatively flat for many retirees. Lawmakers have acknowledged these pressures, and this bill is part of a broader effort to address income stability for people who rely on Social Security and related benefits as their primary source of support. While the bill does not change everything overnight, it does introduce important updates that can affect monthly payments, timing, and eligibility for additional support. One of the most important things to understand right away is that this bill does not replace Social Security, and it does not cancel or reduce existing benefits. Social Security remains a foundational program, and monthly retirement, survivor, disability, SSI, and SSDI payments continue under the same structure that has been in place. What the bill does is approve additional funding and policy adjustments that allow for specific increases, supplements, or temporary extra payments under defined conditions. These changes are meant to strengthen the system and provide targeted relief rather than rewrite the entire program from the ground up. The phrase extra payment has been used widely, and it means different things depending on individual circumstances. In this bill, extra payments are tied to supplemental funding allocations that support cost of living adjustments, special payment provisions, and administrative flexibility for certain groups. These payments are not universal checks sent to every recipient in the same amount on the same day. Instead, they are structured so that eligible individuals may see higher deposits, supplemental credits, or adjusted monthly totals based on their benefit category and income status. Understanding this distinction helps set realistic expectations about what to look for in your account. Another key element of the bill is its focus on protecting purchasing power. Social Security payments are adjusted through cost of living increases, but those increases often lag behind real-world expenses that seniors actually face day to day. This legislation recognizes that gap and provides mechanisms that allow certain benefit categories to receive additional support when inflation and essential costs outpace standard adjustments. This is especially relevant for seniors who spend a higher percentage of their income on healthcare and housing, which tend to rise faster than average inflation rates used in official calculations. It is also important to understand how Congress approves a bill like this and what happens after approval. When Congress passes a bill affecting Social Security and benefits, it authorizes funding and policy changes. But implementation happens through federal agencies like the Social Security Administration. This means that changes do not always appear instantly in your bank account the next day. Payment adjustments are processed through existing systems, which follow monthly cycles and verification steps. Some changes can take effect within weeks, while others roll out over several months, depending on complexity and system requirements. This bill includes provisions that support smoother processing and reduce delays. In recent years, many seniors experienced delays due to staffing shortages, system backlogs, and administrative slowdowns that made it harder to get answers or updates. Part of the approved funding is designated to improve processing efficiency, which helps ensure that eligible payments are issued accurately and on time. While this does not guarantee perfection or eliminate every possible delay, it does signal an effort to stabilize benefit delivery and improve service quality. For retirees already receiving Social Security, the most likely impact will be reflected in adjusted payment amounts rather than entirely new payment streams or separate checks. These adjustments may appear as slightly higher monthly deposits or as supplemental amounts tied to specific eligibility criteria that apply to your situation. For individuals receiving supplemental security income, the bill's impact may be more noticeable, as SSI recipients are often more directly affected by supplemental funding due to strict income and asset limits that govern the program. People receiving Social Security disability insurance are also included in the scope of this legislation. Disability beneficiaries often face higher living costs related to medical care and accessibility needs, and the bill acknowledges these realities. While SSDI payments follow a different structure than SSI, provisions in the bill allow for targeted support that aligns with cost pressures faced by disabled individuals who may have limited ability to supplement income through work. Survivor beneficiaries, including widows and widowers, are also part of the discussion. Survivor benefits are often lower than retirement benefits and can leave individuals financially vulnerable, especially when they lose a spouse's income unexpectedly. The bill's framework allows for adjustments that help protect survivors from falling behind as living costs increase. These adjustments are structured within existing benefit formulas to maintain consistency and fairness across different recipient groups. It is also important to address the topic of stimulus payments, as this term is often misunderstood and misused. This bill is not the same as past emergency stimulus checks that were sent during national crises like the pandemic. Instead, it represents a more structured approach to financial support through the Social Security system. While some eligible individuals may receive what feels like a stimulus-style increase, it is delivered through benefit adjustments rather than one-time universal checks mailed to everyone. The funding approved by Congress is tied to specific budget allocations. This means the money is already authorized and accounted for within federal spending plans. It is not speculative or dependent on future votes or political negotiations. However, how that funding is distributed depends on eligibility rules, benefit categories, and administrative timelines. Understanding this helps manage expectations and prevents disappointment caused by unrealistic assumptions about immediate large payments. Another important aspect of this bill is its emphasis on fairness across benefit groups. Lawmakers aim to balance support so that those with the greatest financial need receive proportionally more assistance. This approach recognizes that not all seniors face the same financial challenges. Someone living on a minimal SSI benefit experiences cost increases differently than someone with a higher retirement benefit and additional savings or pension income. The bill also reinforces protections against benefit reductions. There has been ongoing concern about the long-term stability of Social Security and whether future generations will receive full benefits. And while this legislation does not solve every future challenge or address every long-term funding issue, it includes safeguards that prevent immediate cuts or disruptions. This reassurance is important for seniors who rely on monthly payments to cover essential expenses like rent, medication, and food. And it is worth noting that misinformation spreads quickly when major legislation is approved. Claims about massive checks, automatic bonuses for everyone, or sudden changes to eligibility often circulate on social media without context or verification. This script focuses on verified legislative outcomes and realistic impacts rather than exaggerated promises or clickbait headlines. Understanding the real scope of the bill helps seniors plan responsibly and avoid financial mistakes based on false information. The role of income reporting remains important under this bill. Changes to benefits do not remove existing reporting requirements for SSI or other income-sensitive programs. Seniors should continue to report changes in income, living arrangements, or marital status as required by law. Doing so helps ensure that payments remain accurate and prevents overpayments that could cause future repayment issues or benefit suspensions. Healthcare-related costs are another area indirectly affected by this legislation. While the bill does not directly change Medicare rules or coverage, higher Social Security payments can influence premium calculations and net benefit amounts for many seniors. This means it is important to look at total monthly income after deductions rather than focusing only on gross benefit increases you might see advertised. The bill also acknowledges regional cost differences. While Social Security is a national program with uniform rules, living costs vary widely across states and cities. Supplemental provisions within the legislation allow for administrative flexibility that helps address these differences without creating separate programs for each region. This approach aims to provide support while maintaining national consistency and equal treatment. For seniors who work part-time or receive other income, the bill does not eliminate existing earnings rules. However, adjustments in benefit amounts may slightly change how income interacts with monthly payments. Understanding these interactions helps seniors make informed decisions about work and income without risking unintended benefit reductions or penalties. Another important point is that this legislation does not require seniors to apply for new programs in most cases. Adjustments are generally processed automatically based on existing records in the Social Security Administration database. This reduces administrative burden and helps ensure that eligible individuals receive benefits without additional paperwork or complicated applications. However, staying informed and reviewing payment notices remains important to catch any errors or discrepancies. The approval of this bill also sends a broader message about priorities. It reflects recognition by Congress that seniors and vulnerable populations need continued support in a changing economic environment. While political debates continue about many issues, this legislation represents a concrete step toward addressing immediate financial pressures faced by millions of Americans who worked hard their entire lives. As payments begin to reflect these changes, seniors may notice differences in deposit amounts or timing. These differences should be reviewed carefully to understand what portion reflects standard benefits and what portion reflects approved adjustments. Keeping personal records and reviewing monthly statements helps maintain clarity and confidence in your financial planning. As we move into the second and final part of this explanation, the focus now shifts to how the approval of this bill can realistically show up in monthly payments, what timelines look like, and how seniors can use this information in a practical and careful way. It is also important to approach information carefully. Large legislative changes often lead to exaggerated claims or misleading interpretations spread by people who may not understand the details. Relying on official notices and consistent payment patterns provides a more reliable understanding than rumors or unverified claims circulating online. Staying calm and informed helps protect financial well-being. The approval of this bill represents acknowledgement that seniors and vulnerable populations need continued attention and support. While it does not solve every challenge or eliminate every financial worry, it provides meaningful adjustments that reflect current economic conditions. These changes are designed to strengthen purchasing power, protect stability, and ensure that benefits continue to meet essential needs. As monthly payments begin to reflect these updates, seniors should take time to review their finances and make adjustments where needed. Small increases can add up over time and provide opportunities to manage expenses more effectively or build a small cushion for emergencies. Thoughtful planning helps turn legislative changes into real-life benefits that improve daily living. This brings us to the most important takeaway. Congress has approved a bill that supports Social Security and provides for extra financial support where it is needed most. These changes are real, funded, and integrated into the existing system. They are not sudden windfalls that will solve all problems, but they are meaningful steps toward greater stability for millions of Americans who depend on these programs for survival. Understanding what has been approved, how it is implemented, and how it affects individual circumstances empowers seniors to stay in control of their finances. Staying informed, reviewing payments, and planning carefully are the best ways to make the most of these updates and ensure you receive everything you're entitled to.